that we've actually presented in the first day regarding how the IEA works, the IEA workspace works. And this here is you have to pick one of these two options, regional or national. We first intended that perhaps this EIS could be used if perhaps South Sudan would like to make a regional report. Perhaps the Ministry of Environment and Forestry could be the secretariat for a new report that's being developed between, let's say, Ethiopia, Kenya, and South Sudan, for example. So this could be useful. Perhaps later on we can use this one perhaps to develop and help develop regional or continental reports for all of Africa. Then we'll be making use of that data that we choose to be shared with the public. We'll be going to national, and here we'll have the two options, the CCA, the one that you develop with the UN country teams, and the State Environment Reporting System. They work in the same way, but the main difference would be whether you've been assigned the role as an author in this one or the other. So just for the sake of presentation, we'll be going to the SWR. Actually, these photos are some of the photos from where Idru and Joyce joined us in the last regional meeting. So that's actually a documentary that we have developed. The other participants from the last workshop saw it. That's a documentary that we've generated using artificial intelligence. The script was generated by artificial intelligence. The media were gathered and compiled and spliced using artificial intelligence. If you go actually to the homepage of the State Environment Reporting System, you can actually get to view it. Perhaps later we can get a chance to see it. So a little bit of, let's say, an intro for integrated environmental assessment. Integrated environmental assessment deals with basically developing state environment reports, environmental reports, any reports that are integrated in nature that deals with the environment. So you could do a state environment for South Sudan. You could do a state environment of the Sud area. You can make a state environment for the biodiversity, the livestock in South Sudan. This is all possible. The reporting system does accommodate any reporting requirements that you feel like it. In order to go into something like this, the National Environmental Information Network, be it the Ministry and NBS, will have to nominate a group of experts to be assigned as the authoring team. The authoring team will go on to develop the first draft, and then the second, and then the third. Then you'd have also to assign a number of experts as reviewers to actually check the first drafts that the authors do develop, and they submit their comments. And then someone who is supervising the whole process, preferably it will be the Ministry of Environment and NPS, he will decide it's time for a new phase of review, and then gets to the second and third and fourth, etc. number of drafts. So basically it consists of an author's module, a reviewer's module, and then a secretariat access. We have what we call AI-generated outputs, again the knowledge base, and help/training. So basically, it starts with the secretariat access, where we get actually start a new report. So let me go into this one, secretariat access. We have these three options: manage reports, where you get to manage all the reports that are logged into the system; active report comments, where you get to actually check the comments that are being submitted on the draft on the system; and we have report dashboards that will show you a list of dashboards that will give you a sense of how the report is being developed, how the number of authors is being perhaps assigned to a specific chapter, a specific comment, and so on and so forth. We'll go to manage reports. Okay, we have two reports. We have South Sudan State Environment Report 2018 and 2024 simulation. That's the one we used for the sake of training in the last workshop. We'll go to the simulation. As you see, we get to rename to manage cycles. That's where you actually set the timeline for the report? When does the authoring or the drafting start? When does the authors be locked out of the system for the reviewers to actually check those drafts and comment on them, submit their comments? And then we have the last option where you actually get to start the whole cycle again. So we'll go to manage cycles. As you see here, we have the drafting starts in 27th of October, which was, I think, yesterday. Then we have reviewer submission starts. That's when the reviewers will actually get to access the drafts and submit their comments. At this time, the drafting will be stopped. The authors will not have access to the system. It will be the time for the reviewers to check the drafts and submit their comments. Then the authors actually get, and this is all done on the system, the authors will get to see those comments and submit their responses on it. So perhaps if someone indicated that there is lack of enough evidence for that specific argument, an author can later on respond to that. Perhaps he does agree and provide that, and he can indicate if that comment has been integrated in the text. We'll be seeing that in a few moments. And then we have the cycle end, which is the author's respond end. That's when the cycle will end. It will be up to the secretariat again to decide if we need another review cycle. So now let's go on as authors through the authors module and choose to first develop what we call a report structure. Because before you write a report, you need to do the consultations with the different institutions that will be involved in developing and integrating environmental assessment reports to develop a report structure. Through the report, through this option here, we have edit current drafts. That's where you get to draft the section or the chapter that you've been assigned, and we have to access reviewer comments. Of course, this will not be active because it's now time for the drafting. So if we go to develop report structure, you will see the old structure that your colleagues in the last workshop have entered. I think we were like 4 groups or so, and each group added a chapter, and below a section, and then a number of items, which could take like 3 or 4 paragraphs. Okay, next would be to let you know how you actually go developing that report structure. As you see here, there's that little arrow down there, or you can simply right click on the name. If we go to the main title of the report here, I press right click and you get the action to assign author to the report, to the entire report. So you would assume actually the role of a super author. He can actually go in and submit as many drafts as he would like in any of the different sections and chapters of the report. Next, that would be create theme chapter. Now, we have 2 options, free text or theme chapter. Theme, he would actually go back to the list of themes submitted in the data workspace, in the framework. So he will get back to the one of these. So if we actually do choose it, you see you are provided with a list of themes that is available in the SDIS, in the SDGS or the SDIS, and you get to choose any of these. Or you can simply choose to add a free text, and you are presented with that field, and you can add whatever you would like. Okay, I'll add FDES 2013 training. And as you see, now I've added it. It's over there. Now let's add a new section. Now, again, we can assign an author to that specific chapter. You can edit the name, you can create a free text section. Now, you'll find now that we don't have the option to pull from the SDIS or the SDGS because we've already decided on a different one in the first place. Let me show you what I mean. If we actually did choose a theme chapter here from biodiversity, let's say, and press save, it's down there. If we go here, now you get the other option to create an issue. So now you can actually pull from the list of issues under the biodiversity. Let's check the menu. You see these are the issues. So you can actually even follow the framework from over here. This will make it easier for you when you go on and pull data from those data modules in the editor. And if we choose to actually assign authors, now these are all the lists of authors that is available on the South Sudan EIS. You can pick each and every one of them for any number of chapters, that's fine. For the sake of training, I'll just add myself. As you see, the list is rather extensive. You can use the search module here, let's say Idro, and you can find it right away. Okay, now use it and save. Now myself as an author, I've been assigned a chapter called FDES 2013 training. Let's now go to the previous screen. I get to start editing the draft that has been assigned to me. So I go to edit current draft. And you see all these blue ones have been assigned to myself. Now, let's say if I actually do remove view is already adding to the system, that's fine. FDES 2013 training, I could perhaps unassign myself from one of these before in the developed report structure. Okay, so let's remove land. And you see now that I've been removed from the land section. I can go on now and highlight this one and start drafting using the native editor that we've built inside the system. So just right click and click edit. And this is the editor. We're very much incorporated all the usual and the most popular tools on Microsoft Word. For your convenience, you can add as many tools as you would like and use them at your own convenience. You can add, of course, a table, an image, a link, bookmark, develop a table of contents. All this is present here. You can go and develop a header, a footer, a page setup, insert page numbering, and so on. And once you are done with whatever reporting that you are doing, you can choose to save to server, and you can choose to save as, which would allow you to download the text and data you have entered to your device. There's an also option to import, where perhaps you've already done that section on your device somewhere else. You can import it right away to the system, and it will keep its formatting, which is in another document. With import, you can actually pull from that filtration system that I've shown you earlier in the data modules. You can do from there. So let's say SDGs data. Okay, so we have again sectors, goals, and you get to decide which goal and target you would like to have. We have one record. If that's fine with you, just import data, and data will be integrated directly into the editor.